Hey, what's up all you pirates and samurai out there? I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another One Piece chapter review. This time it's chapter 944 titled Partner or Aibo. And we see the cover page which has Boa Hancock trying to get this monkey to basically complete its Monkey D. Luffy ensemble kind of cosplay. Because it's got a Luffy shirt with his wanted poster, it's got a straw hat, and all it needs is like a piece of meat and it'll look like Luffy in Boa Hancock's eyes. It's a very adorable situation. I miss seeing Boa, honestly. But as we get into the chapter proper, we see Zoro and Sanji having finally been reunited, and of course they're already arguing, despite the fact that they're trying to save Toko. You know, Zoro-Jiro the criminal, and Sangoro the rebel, and a crying Otoko mourning over the loss of her father. And X-Drake and Hawkins, having spotted them, X-Drake or DS-Drake immediately transforms, ready to take down Sangoro. But we also see that the Shogun Orochi is all too willing to take down not just Toko, but Zoro and Sanji as well. 3 criminals with 1 gun. But Zoro, he cannot contain his anger at Orochi at this point, and he hands off Toko to Sanji, ready to take care of the big-headed problem. Meanwhile, Usopp and Frankie are shocked to see Zoro in the capital, and just glad that he's there to help protect Otoko. However, Shinobu is more concerned about picking up the body of Lord Yasue, as they don't want them to have his remains, because who knows what grisly things they'll do with it. Maybe put his head on a pike, strewn his body across something in order to just show dominance in the eyes of the Shogun. I wouldn't put it past Orochi to do something very shameless along those lines. However, Kanjiro, Nami, and Robin kind of reconsidered getting involved, as they don't want to out themselves as, you know, part of the rebel faction. But at this point it's basically too late. They'll have to find a new rendezvous location. And despite the fact that Sanji tries his best to talk Zoro out of it, Zoro is just too enraged at this point. Between the memories of the smiling Yasu, who was very friendly, kind, and had never had an ill thing to say about anyone other than Orochi, and the crying tears of Toko, who has lost her father, and the suffering of the people of Ebisu, he launches his 720-pound Phoenix, an uprated version of his regular attack, and he gets ready to go in on Orochi. He is completely ready to kill a man. However, before the strike can take off Orochi's head, in comes Kyoshiro, blocking the attack as if it were nothing, much to the surprise of Zoro as well as Hiyori. So now we have a situation where Zoro is kinda to a certain degree throwing down with Kyoshiro. But, you know, Kyoshiro blocked this thing like it was nothing. You know, he tells Orochi to retreat as far back as possible. Orochi does so because he's just like, yeah, that guy kinda tried to kill me. Fuck this shit, I'm out. And he bails. And while Sanji starts to try to just chew into Zoro for just disobeying what they originally came here to do, Sanji has his own issue, as X-Drake is all too ready to just crunch down on Sangoro the rebel, and the people flee from Drake's rampage. Meanwhile, you know, the various forces of the Shogun start to open fire on Zoro, and I love this moment because all Zoro says is cover me, and in comes Franky at the ready to defend his friend with everything that he's got, much to the surprise of the forces, who are just like, oh god, what's wrong with this carpenter, before Franky delivers a very supreme strong right. He then picks up the body of Yasue and begins to run with the Shogun's forces hot on his heels, only for Usopp to come in and lend a hand to Franky in his retreat. We also see Nami and Robin doing something, but I'm not really sure what it is. I think they're just kind of helping out in their escape. Meanwhile, Orochi, well, he does flee from the whole situation. He calls back to his men, kill them all dead. Each and every one of these people who would dare stand against me. And Zoro is trying his best to follow, but Kyoshiro proves to actually just be too capable for Zoro to just push aside. Now this is a fight I would love to see, but Kyoshiro also says something when asked by Zoro to move. He says, I can't, after all, I am the Shogun's lapdog. And in that moment, like a lot of other people have stated, Kyoshiro has never looked more like Gin Ichimaru from Bleach to me. Like, that statement and the way he delivered that line through like a smile that also kind of read like he doesn't believe that. He's saying that with bile in his throat. This is a man who is all too ready to kill Orochi himself at any point. He's all too willing to do it, but he will be the one who does it. Now, to what end, is very much unknown, because the reaction that we had from Hiyori says that it is definitely that Kyoshiro let her go for some reason, but to what end? Why is he taking the heat for the whole situation with killing Komurasaki? Why is he doing what he's doing? There's a bigger agenda going on here with Kyoshiro, but it's really hard to tell, and that's what makes him so fascinating at this point. Just the fact that you don't know what he's up to. But an alarm goes out to arrest all of the riders and the rebels and all that good stuff. So I don't know if the prisoners have been freed finally or not, but all chaos is breaking out. Meanwhile, we also see that Luffy is still watching the events over the projectile Den Mushi, and he's cheering on all of his friends, while Queen is actually finding whole situation completely hilarious. He is enjoying every step of it, because he's just like, I can't believe these guys would have the balls to go right after Orochi's head. Your crew is something, Straw Hat. But these festivities are interrupted by the arrival of some criminals. In fact, we come to find out that they have captured Kamizo the Killer, who was because he was unable to complete one of the Shogun's missions. So the Shogun basically just turned him over for his inability. But they have also managed to recapture Eustace Kid for some reason. And we come to find out that Kid came charging at the guards, screaming at them at the top of his lungs. And he still had the sea stone handcuffs on, so it just took like a couple of shots and he was down for the count for the most part. And Luffy's just like, why did you escape only to let them find you again? But Kid, he just starts talking to himself to Kamizo, and he's just like, man, you always hated that laugh of yours. It got to the point where you just stopped laughing altogether, and you'd beat to death anyone who ever heard it and made fun of it. And then after a certain point, you hid your face because of it. So at this point, everyone puts two and two together. And it's revealed that at some point, Orochi did something to this person, Kamizo. Obviously fed him Smile, making it so that Eustace's kid's first mate, Killer, can only laugh and smile, and will only be called Kamizo the Killer. I was shocked by this. I was absolutely taken aback by this because at first nothing really signaled that this was the case, that it signaled that it was Killer at any point. But now that when you go back and look at it, you're just like, oh my god, his fighting style was exactly like Killer's. The sickle, the way he wielded the sickles, the way he spun around in the air doing all these flips, his wild attack patterns, all of that, that's Killer style right there and then. And when you actually look at his body type, yeah, that's Killer. The aged up Killer, that's him right outright. And Kid attacked Kaido's forces in a rage because he's just like, what did you do to my partner? Tell me now. Tell me right this instant. And a lot of people are questioning how Killer was able to be taken down so easily by Zoro. But I think it's just because he wasn't in it. He's just going about the motions. He was broken, and any real fighting spirit that he had in him at any point is gone. Killer is a broken man at this point. As you see him laughing and sobbing and crying, something inside Killer is broken, meaning he never had a chance against Zoro because, Zoro still has his pride, his fighting spirit. He's still into the kill, the attacks, all of that. Killer, whatever made him strong before, he lost that. And that's why Kid is so pissed off. They did something to his friend that is unforgivable. And even Luffy recognizes Killer because he encountered him at the Sabaody archipelago. And even old man Hiyori is just like, yeah, they probably fed him the smile fruit. That's why he's like this. And so Killer and Kid's punishment goes underway. Also, something worth noting is that Kid is wondering what happened to the rest of the crew on top of this. So for all we know, the rest of Kid's crew are also under the thrall of Kaido. They are now all servants of Kaido because he's just that persuasive. It's either you either die or you become a part of Kaido's crew. That's the way he operates. That's what he was trying to do to Luffy. Some people's wills are stronger than others, and Killer, something broke him down the line. But they start drowning Killer and Kid, just dunking them into this tank. And, just, submerging them, pulling them out, just water bombarding them, basically. And he calls out, he's adding a new element to the Sumo Inferno. Queen says that as long as Luffy and Old Man Hio are still alive, Kid and Killer will remain underwater for, until the fighting is done. And Luffy is just like, wait, why are you connecting me to them? I have nothing to do with those guys. But Queen, on some real G shit, is just like, well, why are you so upset then? If they don't mean anything to you. So that's showing Queen's more devious side there and then. He is very smart and quick on the uptake. Rivals from the same generation. It's obvious you have some kind of empathy towards them. Ultimately, no matter how strong any person is, anybody will drown in 5 centimeters of water. And Luffy just starts to really lose it at this point. It's just like, well, why don't you just come in and take me on yourself, you bastard? And when he goes to strike Queen, Queen is just having none of it because he's out of Oshiruko and he's actually getting a little yeah, a little peeved off to a certain degree. So he catches Luffy's strike like it's nothing and just tosses it. Just throws Luffy back as if he weren't even shit. So now he's just like, listen, man, I think you've misunderstood a few things, you little shit. You know, if you thought you were making it out of this alive, you have another thing coming. This is torture, man. This is torture, baby. You know, you think you could beat us? You could think you could take us down? We either break you or we kill you. And you will die here. Every last one of you bastards. You know, sorry I'm going for a New York accent, but I feel like it would really fit Queen. And Luffy is just like, no. That's not how this goes. I am going to be the one who decides where and when I die. And that goes back to something that, you know, at one point Law once said, one of his most famous quotes is just like, weaklings don't get to decide where they die. But this whole situation is interrupted because Big Mom has finally arrived, and she is obviously hungry as she demands Oshiruku, as they've taken down the guards outside of the gate, and a massive sound is coming from outside. Big Mom is hungry. And that's where our chapter leaves off. Very fascinating, very interesting. You know, seeing the whole conflict with Frankie, Usopp, Robin, Nami all joining in to throw down. I hope they expand on that in the anime, just to see them go toe to toe with some fodder characters. But, you know, I want to see more of Sanji's fight with X-Ray. I hate the fact that we didn't get to see what happened with him in page 1. What did Sanji do to page 1? It's obvious that Sanji won, but what happened? And Drake, Drake is following Kaido very faithfully, so obviously there's more to Kaido's tactics of bringing people over to his side, more definitely, but I wonder if Hawkins is going to be involved in the battle, not to mention Zoro and Kyoshiro. What's going to happen between them? Are we going to get some final showdown later down the line between those two? As it's getting really hard to tell who the matchups are gonna be towards the end. Oda hasn't been quite as predictable with his showdowns as he was in the in the before the New Worlds half of One Piece. Before you could kind of tell who was gonna fight who, but now it's very much up in the air. And you gotta wonder, it's just like, are they actually gonna manage to give Yasue a proper burial? And did Yasue's tactic of having everyone just kind of flip over in their thinking of Orochi, did that actually work? Will Orochi be kind of, looked down upon in the public eye? There's also the point of the fact that, Eustace Kid has been captured and Kamazo has been revealed to be Killer who ate the Smile Fruit. So I have to wonder, are any of these Smile victims going to be cured possibly by Chopper later down the line? Is there a potential cure for this? Because that's a really horrible way to kind of live the rest of your life. Living with a laugh you don't care for is something that really cuts so deeply for you. And honestly, how much of Kid's crew have been taken under Kaido's wing? Did any of them escape? Of course, Killer, went toe-to-toe trying to take down Kaido along with Kid, because that's his boy. He's not going to let him go down like that, but did any of the others escape? Are the Kid Pirates still out there looking for their captain? Not to mention, where's Law's crew? Where are those guys at? A lot of questions as to if any of the other crews will be reunited. But, Queen is on the warpath, fully ready to take down the worst generation. Kid, Killer, and Luffy will die at some point. At least if Queen has anything to say about it. But now that Big Mom is in the mix, what will happen to Queen? Queen can't go down like a punk because that would be too easy. He has to at least put down a good fight, but will Big Mom be weakened because of her hunger pangs? Because she doesn't fight like a good, offensive ability when she's in her hunger pangs? So does Queen have a chance of possibly taking down Big Mom, or vice versa? And will we see Queen's Devil Fruit abilities show their true form in the next few chapters? I'm really hoping so, because he can't not bring his A game to a showdown with Big Mom. There's definitely got to be something going on there. But tell me your thoughts and theories in the comment section below as to what will happen in the next chapter, which, all things considered, should be coming out soon. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below. If you want to keep following my One Piece chapter reviews, subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another video. If you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I am everywhere, for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember that your allies will always fight to the death for you. They will always be there for you as best they can, with a smile and a laugh in their heart. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.